Some dare call it conspiracy.
What if I told you that the Illuminati, New World Order, and deep state conspiracy theories that are so prevalent today were themselves a conspiracy? What if I told you that believing in these myths actually serves a different set of elites than the boogeymen you're pointing your finger at? Well, from my lived experience of being a true believer from 2003 to 2018, and my subsequent journey debunking my own beliefs for the past 3 years, that is exactly what I found. This will show you where it came from, who pushed it, and for what reason. I hope this information will shock you as much as it shocked me. Follow me as I take you through the moments in history which spawned these conspiracy theories, and dive deep into the people behind them and their hidden agendas. This is the MetaConspiracy. Our story begins in the final years of the French Revolution. Following a bloody and tumultuous uprising, rumors started to circulate about a hidden hand orchestrating the revolution. It was a confusing time for some, especially for the royalists and conservatives who felt they were on the losing side. How could such lowly peasants overthrow the monarchy and defeat an exceptional army? Surely this wasn't an organic uprising brought about via multiple crises convalescing to a boiling point. No. Surely they had help. These were a few of the many questions posed by Jesuit priest Augustin Barruel, who in 1797 authored Memoirs Illustrating the History of Jacobinism. In this book, Barruel claims the French Revolution was the result of a grand conspiracy. He alleges the plot was hatched by the philosophes of the Enlightenment and carried out by Freemasonic orders and the Bavarian Illuminati. This book is widely considered to be the very first time that the Freemasons and Adam Weishaupt's Illuminati were linked to a wider conspiracy of sedition and domination. Meanwhile in Scotland, the physicist John Robison, a professor of natural philosophy at the University of Edinburgh, was also coming to similar conclusions, and within a year of Barruel's first volume of memoirs, Robison published Proofs of a Conspiracy Against All the Religions and Governments of Europe. This less detailed but more refined telling of the myth was praised by Barruel, stating, "Without knowing it, we have fought for the same cause, with the same arms, and pursued the same course." As well as Robison's writings on the French Revolution, he also believed that the discovery of oxygen, the table of elements, and chemistry itself was also an Illuminati plot. Later, in A System of Mechanical Philosophy, John Robison charged the French Illuminist scientists of purchasing children from the poor in order to dissect their living brains in search of a life force. Now, you could be forgiven for believing that these were fantasies of a paranoid delusion, yet this was actually the case. Robison self-medicated a mysterious groin pain with copious amounts of opium for decades. His drug-addled ramblings were only made worse from the encouragement of Alexander Horn, known as the Secret Agent Monk. Alexander Horn was a Scottish Benedictine monk, a Catholic priest, a British diplomat, and a spy for the British government, who is alleged to have provided much of Robison's material. Now, I can't quite put my finger on why these Catholics, royalists, and reactionaries would push back at the thought of revolution and the Enlightenment. Can you? Maybe they were aware that the Enlightenment was not only about enlightening people, but about pushing forward egalitarian values under which humans could be free to govern themselves and no longer be subservient to church or monarchy. In 1806, Augustin Barruel received a letter from Captain Jean-Baptiste Simonini. Praising Barruel's book, Simonini put forward his hypothesis. Not only were the Illuminati and Freemasons responsible for the overthrow of France, but this plot had a third party. Can you guess? The Jews. To his credit, Barruel spent many years investigating this claim, and eventually did not believe there was any proof to it. However, during his investigation he sent copies of the Simonini letter to many of his peers looking to substantiate the claims, and over the next 72 years this letter circulated among elite conservatives until it was eventually published in 1878 in a conservative magazine, The Contemporary. Sadly, this became an oft-quoted urban myth and birthed many anti-Semitic conspiracy theories concerning the Cabal. One of the most well-known of these conspiracy theories is the Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion, a fake transcript to an alleged meeting of Jewish leaders plotting global domination, published in Russia in 1903. It was proven to be a hoax in 1921, but that didn't stop this incredibly harmful text from having a direct influence on many, many anti-Semites, including none other than King Anti-Semite himself. Need I say more? On the 19th of April 1897, Leo Taxil stood in front of a packed hall at the Geographical Society in Paris. The audience and press were there at the behest of Taxil, where he had invited them all to come and meet the mysterious high priestess who would affirm his writings of the previous 12 years. What Leo Taxil was about to reveal would cause a full-scale riot, forcing police to rush him into the nearest jail cell in order to stop the mob from killing him. Leo Taxil was the pen name of Marie Joseph Gabriel Antoine Yogan Pages. The French author joined the Freemasons in 1881 and was kicked out of the lodge for bringing the Brotherhood into disrepute, after only reaching the first degree. Taxil started to publish anti-Catholic pamphlets and books. Some were parodies of the Bible and the life of Jesus. Others were raunchy pornographic tales of the clergy running around with milkmaids and mistresses. Catching the attention of the Vatican, in 1885, Taxil confessed his sins and converted to Catholicism. To repent for the blasphemy he had previously published, Leo Taxil started to write a series of books exposing a secret satanic order operating at the highest degrees of Freemasonry. This sect were called Palladists. Their high priestess was Miss Diana Vaughan. Their sovereign pontiff was Albert Pike, and their god was Lucifer. He described in detail how Freemasonic rituals involved murders and sacrifice. He spoke of black magicians summoning demons, shape-shifting reptilian beings, and the devil himself. Leo Taxil had not only uncovered the greatest evil possible, but was exposing it for the glory of God. Every gory detail. And the Vatican loved it. They showered him with praises and gifts until the day that Leo Taxil's words incited a riot. So what were these words? Stood before the audience of top clergymen, members of press, and the adoring public, Leo Taxil proclaimed that he had just pulled off a spectacular 12-year-long prank. His conversion, Diana Vaughan, Palladinism, and everything he exposed in his books about Freemasonry, from the rituals to Albert Pike's secret oaths, were a hoax. A complete fabrication of his own imagination. His motive? To undermine the church and expose them for being hypocrites and naive fools. But most importantly, it was for his own enjoyment. He was the original 4chan troll, way before trolling existed. In his 30-page confession printed in a French newspaper the following day, he went on to speak about how other pranks led to this ultimate prank. He had previously convinced the commandant of Marseille that the harbour was infested with sharks and a ship was sent to destroy them. He then convinced people that there was an underwater city beneath Lake Geneva, to which tourists and archaeologists flocked to the site to witness the wonder. But again, these were all hoaxes. In the words of Taxil himself, "The public made me what I am, the arch liar of the period. For when I first commenced to write against the Masons, my object was amusement, pure and simple. The crimes I laid at their door were so grotesque, so impossible, so widely exaggerated, I thought everybody would see the joke and give me credit for originating a new line of humor. But my readers wouldn't have it so. They accepted my fables as gospel truth, and the more I lied for the purpose of showing that I lied, the more convinced they became that I was a paragon of veracity. The jolly evenings I spent with my fellow authors, hatching out new plots, new, unheard-of perversions of truth and logic, each trying to outdo the other in organized mystification. I thought I would kill myself laughing at some of the things proposed, but everything went. There is no limit to human stupidity. Leo Taxil. So that's the 18th and 19th century. In our next video, I want to show you two of the most influential conspiracists of the 20th century, Nesta Helen Webster and Robert Welch Jr. The work they did in the 20th century leads us right up to today. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope maybe you learned something from it. If you did, please subscribe. Until next time, peace. Thank you for listening to Some Dare Call It Conspiracy. Follow us on Twitter @SomeDarePodcast for all the latest from us. And if you want to support us, please consider joining us on patreon.com/SomeDareCallItConspiracy. You'll be able to get early access to episodes, including each full deep dive series on day one, and exclusive Patreon-only episodes. When you subscribe to our Initiate tier for a $5 or our Handler tier for a $10, you'll get a welcome pack of 4 of Neil's books, 8 of my albums and EPs, and a PDF of Headache Comics 4, courtesy of Nicholas C. Gray. And to our first Patreons, thank you so much for your support from the both of us at Some Dare Call It Conspiracy.